Valve is set to take the world by storm with Linux in the Steam machine. Will it work? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack and this is Feature Creep. The internet loves Valve. Gabe Newell might just be the second coming of Christ if you spend more than a little while on Reddit. And they've certainly done some good where it comes to progressing the digital marketplace, and Halflife and CS Source are also pretty damn awesome. So when Valve initially announced the Steam machine concept that we'd all been talking about after the rumors first leaked, the net was aflame with predictions of the fall of Microsoft and Sony. Much like Guild Wars was predicted among so many others to be the end of World of Warcraft. Not only was the Steam machine going to outperform the consoles, but people even speculated that Windows may take a back seat. Now, the Steam machine and SteamOS are great concepts, and I think in practice they'll be great too. But it has one major issue that the system has to overcome, and that issue is Linux. Linux is a funny OS, not in a funny kind of ha-ha sort of way, but in a funny bizarre way. Linux is an open source operating system which allows for endless customization and optimization in ways that a closed system like Windows simply doesn't touch. If you've ever played a game that was properly optimized for Linux on something like Ubuntu, you very quickly start to wonder if Windows is deliberately crippling your machine because the performance difference is so stark. But Linux has a problem. There are too many distros. For the layman, Linux is a base operating system that can be customized, and a distro or distribution is a packaged version of Linux with customizations done to it. You may have heard the terms Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, and even Android. They're all Linux, but they're all different. For some, installing software is easier than others, as are things like drivers, etc. SteamOS is also going to be a Linux distro. In theory, it will work just as well on any old home PC as it will on a Steam machine under your TV. But the fact that Linux doesn't exist in and of itself in any kind of standalone capacity means that it will never overtake a majority market share. Despite the fact that Linux is an enthusiast platform, it competes with itself. SteamOS is also, from all appearances, very entertainment heavy, meaning that any office application or wide use styling is unlikely. It's designed to be under your TV. At the end of the day, tech-stupid users need to be able to make sense of it all. Even Android, which as I said is just a Linux distro for the mobile phone and small device market, has a good portion of people stumped. They find Android phones to be too customizable. There are too many options. SteamOS and the Steam machine are going to make a great gaming system, assuming developers put in the time and effort required to port things properly. And damn it, I intend to own one because I think it's awesome. However, the idea that it could dethrone Windows or the console kings is delusional. The console market wants simple, one-stop shopping. Having multiple variations of the machine, many of which costing more than consoles, having to worry about whether your version is good enough for the latest games, these are many of the reasons why people buy consoles in the first place. It's a generic one-stop. No, the biggest purchasers of the Steam machine, unless I miss my mark, are going to be PC gamers. People who are used to customization, at least to some extent, used to the idea of upgrading, but who are tired of the console generation having an inferior experience. I'm not convinced that any kind of majority stake of the console market will switch. Does that mean we shouldn't support it? Of course not. But let's not pretend that this is anything other than a little bit of healthy competition. That said, the Steam controller looks goddamned brilliant, and I want one yesterday. So are you going to be one of the first customers for the Steam machine, or are you going to be sticking with the PS4 or the Xbox One? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any content. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.